Evening. Now, ever since comics have really developed into the modern age, fans have been rather split on which comic company is ultimately better, Marvel or DC. Now, in terms of the comics, I can't make a balanced decision here, as I only own two comic collections, which are over here. The only two I can legitimately say I own at the minute are Civil War from Marvel and from DC, The Dark Knight Returns. Kind of kind of two big ones, but hey, those are the ones I own. So I'm gonna talk about how they've both done off the page, i.e. in terms of movie and TV. Now I posted this particular opinion on kind of social networks before, thinking that people would probably disagree with me. But I'm actually staggered by the number of people who did actually agree with me, so I don't feel uncomfortable kind of putting this opinion out there. In my personal opinion, Marvel has done the better movies, but DC has done the better TV. Now, allow me to explain the movie part first. Now, I'm not saying that DC can't make good movies. They've done so in the past. For example, while most of us kind of view Schumacher's attempts as kind of when the series went downhill, the first two Batman movies, i.e. Tim Burton's versions, they've grown to be very popular, and Michael Keaton is now thought as the Batman that most people try to live up to. And just like Burton did with his Batman, Christopher Nolan managed to create a series that, frankly, is one of the greatest movie works we've ever seen. Heath Ledger's Joker, for example, he's the Joker now that everyone wants to be, everyone wants to copy. And he's the one that we're ultimately going to be comparing Jared Leto to when Suicide Squad comes out. The thing is, though, as I've said, while DC have made a few good movies in their time, they've also made some real stinkers, like Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin. I didn't think it's Batman Forever was that bad, but Batman and Robin certainly did badly, and Steel that year as well. Well, we all know how that went. Yeah, now, they've also done a few good Superman movies over the years that have kind of ranged from kind of good to bad and so on and so forth. The thing is, though, while Marvel has also done a few bad movies, such as their 2003 adaptation of Daredevil, its spin-off Elektra, and pretty much every adaptation of the Fantastic Four has been met with criticism so far. The thing is, though, Marvel have always bounced back, giving us hit after hit after hit, and more hits besides. Now, I can't. There are obviously going to be people who disagree with me on this front, but kind of Marvel, when they produce a movie, practically everyone scrambles to the cinema anxious to see it, whereas DC, they have to work a little bit harder in order to make us impress us. And like I said before, that doesn't mean it doesn't pay off every now and again, but they have to work very hard to impress us, whereas Marvel, with their movies, while they do have a few ones that are not quite as good as others, we're all going to scramble to see a Marvel film. If it's got the name Marvel on it, and it's in the cinema, that's one we'll all go to. Whereas, as I said, kind of DC, it's kind of hit and miss. The TV, though, that's where DC did good. Now, let me explain. I'm not personally a person who watches Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, no doubt it's probably a very good show, and I respect anyone who watches it, but for me, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of falls into the bracket of you kind of have to know what's going on most of the time. I mean, I tried watching a few episodes towards the beginning, but because I had missed a couple of episodes before, I didn't really know what was going on. So it's kind of one that you need to be watching from the start, and you kind of need to be familiar with the kind of mythos of the show. Whereas with DC's efforts, this is where I think they did good. I mean, once again, with stuff like Arrow, it does help to kind of know the mythos, but I find with shows like Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and the whole deal after that, I mean, while it does help to know the mythos, with them it isn't essential. And I find with With them, you can pretty much just drop into any episode and have a good time. I mean, yeah, there are some parts that link back to other episodes, but frankly, if you just want to see some superheroes take down some supervillains, DC's lineup is the way to go. I mean, with 4 seasons of Arrow currently on the go, 2 seasons of The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, plus shows like Constantine, they have done phenomenal with those. I absolutely love them. Plus, I have heard from kind of other YouTubers that one of a kind of big part of theirs growing up was Batman the Animated Series, which, while there have been other kind of DC and Marvel cartoons since then, while Marvel has done tremendously well with their things like Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and kind of Spider-Man cartoons and everything, I don't think they ever quite match up to the level that Batman the Animated Series did. I mean, once again, if you disagree with me, fair enough. But I stick to my guns with this one. I mean, in my personal opinion, Marvel's done the better movies, but DC has done the better TV. And frankly, if you agree with me, very good. If you don't agree with me, fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Well, that's my opinion. Marvel, you're doing great with movies. DC, you're doing great with TV. And while you both do well in other brackets, life is good. See ya.